video will show you how to use Google Tour Builder. So navigate to tourbuilder.withgoogle.com and it will ask you to sign in. I'm already signed in. When you're ready, just click on My Tours and you'll be able to see all of your tours if you have them. If not, you'll just simply click Create New Tour. Here you could give your tour a name, and I can call it My Trip to Europe. And I'll put my name. I can add a description and tell people all about my trip to Europe, and I can add a custom photo for the beginning of my trip. I'm not going to do any of that right now, but I'm going to add my first location. My first location was London. So I'm going to put in London and I'm going to click Add to Tour. And then I can add some pictures of London. I can either upload my own pictures or I can go over here and search for images on Google. And here I'll just pick some iconic pictures of London and insert them. I can add another picture and I can keep adding pictures that are relevant to London. And I can put the date that I went to London. I'm just going to make up a date for now. June 1st. And I can tell my audience about London. So I'm just going to put in nonsense for now. And then I can do add location. My next stop was Paris. I'm going to add that to my tour. And here I can add photos. So I'm going to search for Paris. Again, I can add my own photos that I took while I was there. And I can choose the date. So I'll do June 5th. And I could put an end date if I want. Here I'm just going to put in some nonsense. My next location, Amsterdam. And I could add that to my tour. I'm not going to put in any pictures or a date here, but I just want you to get the idea. When you're ready to view your tour, I'm just going to click Done Editing in the top right. I can view my tour. And I can start and click on Next. And it will show me London. And it will show me the date and whatever description I put in. The user can scroll through and see all the pictures I posted. And then they could click Next. And it will bring them to the next point on my trip. And you can scroll through the pictures, read about it, and go on to the next location. And here I didn't put anything. You can share this with someone else by clicking on Share. And you can share that link, or you could add people manually here. And here you change the sharing permissions. So you can make it anyone with the link or anyone at your domain with the link can view. And that's how you'd share your tour. Some instructional uses of this tool could be that you could actually create a lesson for your students. So if for Amsterdam, this was instructional, maybe I would want to write about Amsterdam. I'm just going to go in and edit this. So I'm going to click on the top right. I'm going to go to Edit. And I could talk about historical things like the Anne Frank House. And I can add a link for the students to take a virtual field trip of the Anne Frank House. So maybe if you were doing a lesson on World War II and the main events, you can put in like Pearl Harbor, you can put in the Anne Frank House, and you could add resources or links. So I could do Anne Frank House virtual tour, and I can add the link. I'm just going to make up a silly link for right now, like google.com, but you'd put the real link there. So that way, when the students were going through your lesson and they got there, there would be a link that they can click on. So you can make an interactive lesson that will guide students through maybe a series of events, historical events. Maybe it's a book. Maybe you're reading a book like Long Walk to Water and you want to document where the character's traveling. So you can make a lesson for your students that have interactive elements, or you can have your students create a project by creating their own. I've had social studies teachers in middle school, after they teach each place in a unit, when they're learning about different countries, they add a place to their map. So throughout the year, they're adding a place to the map and talking about that place and what they learned in that unit. So at the end of the year, they have a tour of all the places that they learned throughout the year. So there's so many different ways to use this with your students in your class. I want to go back to the main page of Tour Builder so you can know how to get back. You just click on My Tours, and from here I didn't give it, My Trip to Europe, there it is. So right from this little drop down, I can preview it, I can click on it and edit it, I could delete it, I can export it, or I could copy it. So maybe I want to make two different versions, a modified version and a more high level version of my interactive lesson. So you get to choose. So you could always go in here at any point and edit your lesson or your project, and you can always share it with, you could click done editing and you can share it if you'd like. And then don't forget about this little drop down that allows you to have some more options. And that's how you use Google Tour Builder to create an interactive tour.